Tons, or on average a plane load full, released every 8 minutes, 24 hours a day, for almost 10 years straight. I cannot for the life of me figure out why the US government would go to such great lengths to smash a bunch of giant jars in a field to bits. So if you have literally any ideas or conspiracy theories on this topic, I would love to talk about it because no one else is talking about this, and it's kind of driving me nuts.
They've been telling us this in the cartoons and the movies. We've been saying this over and over and over again. Like, it can always be correlated back to something, for the most part.
Footage of our flat Earth from 1970 to Apollo mission. These are clips taken from 2 hours apart. You can see the ice wall and more land beyond it. Could that possibly be another world beyond it? The Apollo mission never made it past the firmament. This footage is taken from below the dome. NASA are not able to penetrate the firmament. Leaked footage from the 1970 to Apollo mission of our Flat Earth Part 2. You can see land beyond the ice barrier, and this is just 1/8 of the edge in view.
Leaked footage from 1969 of our flat Earth from the Apollo 11. You can see land beyond the ice wall. This is proof.
Now, I have something interesting to say about that right there. Now, you see, I'm not saying that I believe this right here, but do you see like how things get a little weird when you start to like logically break things down? Let me know if y'all tracking. Like, all right, for instance, say, what if we were on use your imagination. What if we were on a bigger piece of land than what we know? That's some people's theory, right? What if this earth is bigger than what they say it is? And there's many of these no more. Because we're terrible and we need to work on ourselves. And they put us in the corner and said, look, keep an eye on these niggas. And they called us all niggas. And that's what they call us out here in the universe. Yeah, that's where the niggas stay. I'm just playing. Look, gay. Hey, let's get back to it, though. It's possible, though. We're terrible. Okay? See? They watching.
I'm working this job. I came out on the deck to look at the ocean. And I saw this semicircle of lights that keeps flicking on and off. What the fuck is that?
Now, I know this ain't a Reese's peanut butter cup paper on his nose.
That's so random.
I know it wasn't. Is that what it is? Is that a Reese's Pieces peanut butter cup on his nose? Because I got high and found out what that was. That's what it was. Y'all better tell me.
I see up and down my timeline, I'm like, these dolls look exactly like my sister. Fugglers, we're coming for you, okay? We're suing your entire club.
Sit down! It is time to batify some fugly fugglers. My desk is kind of dirty, so shut up. I love it. I love this one more. Thought I forgot about all the
This is so fugly. Girl, want me to make these ugly ass fugglies. They're very ugly. Now you tell
all I'm thinking is like, don't fall. Like, you fall is whatever that is that's screaming back there like that. It's gonna get your ass. Oh yeah, it's gonna get your ass. You shouldn't have been in them woods late at night like that anyway. But hey, the bike skills was crazy. But if you had to pull off on a monster, that's how you pull off on them and you ride like that. That's how you drive. Goddamn, that's crazy. If people feel it was over for him, boy. I tell you.
What's your name? What? What is your name? Tony. Fuck you, Tony. What's your name? Ezekiel. Fuck you, Ezekiel. Fuck you. Fuck you. Hey, you know what I did last night? You better not bring my mother into this. You know what I did? You better not. I put that fire over there. Oh. And I thought you brother next to it. Fuck you, Ezekiel. Fuck you. What's your name?
Hey, stuff like that. Hey, still hope for humanity, man. People like that. We need to make the shift. Everybody like that need to make the shift, man.
Leah, calm down, baby. Calm down. Calm down. Calm down.
I'm gonna die.
Malia, calm down.
Mommy, don't let me die. Don't let me die.
Leah, calm down, baby. Calm down. Calm down. Calm down.
I'm gonna die.
Malia, calm down.
Mommy, don't let me die. Don't let me die.
Did you know that ancient books banned by the church reveal that God was actually terrified of Adam? Yeah, you heard me right. God, the allegedly all-powerful creator of the universe, was scared of a single man. Hidden Gnostic scriptures like the Apocalypse of Adam, On the Origin of the World, and the Secret Gospel of John expose secrets that have been kept from us for centuries. And these texts were so terrifying to the church that they tried to destroy them all and persecuted anyone who had them as heretics. We're going to uncover why Adam was such a threat to God and how this ancient knowledge can transform your understanding of reality. And by the end of this video, you'll find out that it reveals the truth about what you really are, a truth that the church doesn't want you to know. Have you ever felt like there's a deeper truth about your existence that you're not being told? Well, what if I told you that you have a hidden potential that's been deliberately kept from you? See, I'm an ex-Christian, and I was always taught that Adam and Eve's story was about disobedience and punishment. But when I left the church and started exploring these ancient books, I found a completely different story. See, the Apocalypse of Adam is a book that gives us a very different picture and tells the story from Adam's point of view. And in it, Adam reveals something huge. Are you ready? There are actually two gods, the true God of light and a false satanic God of darkness. The true eternal God, which is a mind of divine light and the foundation of existence, is hidden. The evil false God is the creator of the material world and none other than the God of the Bible. This book starts with Adam speaking to his son Seth. So I'm sure that you've heard of Cain and Abel, but Seth, who's Seth? Well, we'll get to that soon, and it's important and it ties everything together. But first, we need to know what Adam tells him. So Adam tells Seth about how he and Eve were originally beings of light, full of divine knowledge, and directly connected to the eternal higher realm of light. Adam said, "When God created me out of the earth, along with Eve, your mother, I went about with her in a glory which she had seen in the eon from which we had come forth. She taught me a word of knowledge of the eternal God, and we resembled the great eternal angels, for we were higher than the God who had created us, and the powers with him, whom we did not know." Wait, what? Adam and Eve were originally higher than the God who created them? But how does that make sense? Well, you'll notice that Adam makes a distinction between the God who created him out of the earth versus the eternal God. Adam said, the eon from which we had come forth, meaning the God of the Bible didn't actually create Adam, he just made Adam's body. But if our bodies are just shells, then what are we really? What's our true nature? See, originally Adam and Eve were beings of light and knowledge, and their true selves originated from a divine realm, the realm of the true God. In Gnosticism, it was known as the pleroma. It was only their physical forms that were created by the false satanic God. But it gets even crazier than this. Adam continues, "Then God divided us in wrath. Then we became two eons." So this God, angry and jealous of their power, actually divided Adam and Eve. In other words, Adam and Eve were originally one unified being, but they were put into physical bodies and split apart, stripping them of their divine glory and knowledge. So what if the story that we've always known about Adam and Eve is actually about a jealous God trying to control them by dividing the power? After all, doesn't the biblical story where God makes the tree of knowledge forbidden make a lot more sense when it's understood as an attempt to keep them from gaining knowledge. Doesn't make sense otherwise. Adam goes on, "The glory in our hearts left us, me and your mother Eve, along with the first knowledge that breathed within us, and it fled from us. So they lost all their knowledge, leaving them ignorant, and this was a calculated move by the evil ruler to ensure that they stayed under his control." Adam then describes how they lost their memory and forgot about the eternal God of light and what they actually were. The Apocalypse of Adam says, "After those days, the eternal knowledge of the God of truth withdrew from me and men. Then we recognized the God who created us, and we served him in fear and slavery." Adam and Eve forgot what they truly were, and so they submitted to the lesser God who created them. So growing up, when the world,
yes, there is an app that allows you to see a map of registered sex offenders in your area.
At Hardcore Fitness, Conejo Valley pop-up for LA Fire Relief Donation Drive. That's a drop-off location. You can drop off Saturday and Sunday from 10 to 2. They're going to be taking your donation. They're asking for, all sorts of things, clothing, pillows, bottled water, etc. Again, this is at the Hardcore Fitness in Agora, and the address is 28501 Canwood Street. Hardcore Fitness, you can bring your donations there. Gina, it's so nice to see everybody coming together there. It's such a much different picture in Brentwood and Sherman Oaks and the Palisades, etc. So we're going to get back to that coverage. Thank you so much, Gina.
You guys done recording?
Thank you.
Okay, we want to bring into the conversation right now Tracy Park, city council member for Los Angeles. What we're looking at here is part of her district. Council member, good to see you. I know you've been going nonstop. What can you tell us about what's happening right now in Mandeville Canyon and surrounding areas?
So there is active fire in the Mandeville Canyon area. We have had assets and resources in this area all day, but there is established fire. And so now there are mandatory evacuation orders going into effect for everything south of Mulholland, north of Sunset, from the 405 west all the way to the ocean. So mandatory evacuations in that area. People need to get their things, their critical documents, their pets, their essential items, and begin the process of getting out. We also now have evacuation warnings going east of the 405 freeway all the way towards Stone Canyon. Folks can go to fire.ca.gov for the specific boundaries of the mandatory evacuation zones and warning zones. I have been out on the ground with my constituents in the community working to get DOT traffic control resources and law enforcement presence to the Brentwood area so that we can manage this evacuation in a controlled and orderly manner. I have also actively been on the ground coordinating with our resources at the fire department to make sure that we have adequate staffing and the tools that we're going to need to protect lives and homes in the Brentwood area. But this is an active fire. We don't want to panic folks, but it is important that they gather their things and comply with all orders that are being given by fire and police authorities. This is not a drill. This is a dynamic situation.
You know, our reporters are on the ground. They're getting stationed in the most impacted neighborhoods. Have you heard, Councilwoman, reports of active structures on fire?
No, not yet at this time, just vegetation, but we want to take every precaution that we can to do everything to protect life and property. So we are doing these evacuations now. We're putting our resources in place, and I know that the men and women at the fire department are doing everything in their power with the resources they have to keep our community safe.
What about the Getty Center? We understand that that's also under evacuation.
Yes. Yes, everything west of the 405 is under evacuation. There's no way to sugarcoat what we are dealing with and what we are looking at right now. This is absolutely catastrophic, what is happening on the west side of Los Angeles. We are actively managing this fire. We are working not only with our own fire department, but the county and CAL FIRE and hundreds of resources and assets that have arrived from the state and the federal government. We have tools and resources to combat this. We want to do it in a precautionary way. We want to do it in an orderly way. But this is a widespread emergency, and I don't want folks to think that we are out of the woods yet. We're not. We are also anticipating additional Santa Ana wind conditions, and our efforts to fight and contain not just this fire, but other fires in the region is going to continue to take time. So folks need to continue to follow along with all of the official channels for the most current information about evacuation orders, and it is essential that they comply with the directions that they're being given so that we can save lives and protect property.
Can you talk to us about the decision to shut down the 405 freeway? As we know, that is one of the busiest freeways in the world. That, I imagine, is a decision that you don't take lightly.
It is not a decision that is taken lightly, but we have got to have adequate space for staging so that we have the ability to fight this fire. There are homes and property and lives that are threatened by this, and we want to make sure that we are giving people the space and the time that they need to get out in an orderly, fashioned way. But these orders are in place, and they are there for a reason, and that means pack your essential documents, your critical items, your pets, and whatever loved ones you want to take with you, and get moving.
Any other final thoughts you want to share with your constituents and our viewers tonight?
I just want everybody to know that we are bringing every resource of our local, our county, our state, and our federal government to attack these fires. We are all working around the clock, and our primary mission is to save lives.
And last point, the importance of the air attack tonight. Obviously, this is rugged terrain. It's very difficult to drive back there. The importance that we have those helicopters, at least 10, maybe 12, flying tonight.
It's absolutely essential. We already know that in large part, the devastation in the Palisades is because we weren't able to get air assets up. That is an essential part of our toolkit in fighting circumstances like this. So we are absolutely praying that the weather cooperates long enough to get those resources in the air so that we can fight this fire. But no matter what happens, we are going to continue to throw resources out this to protect lives and property.
And one more question. Who is running the LA Fire Department tonight? Is Kristen Crowley the chief? Is she actively running the department?
Kristen Crowley is our fire chief, and we have got folks all over who are running our command posts. We are in good hands, and we have the resources that we need to do this in an orderly fashion. But again, everybody needs to follow along with the official channels so they have the most up-to-date information and know that everybody on the ground is working around the clock to protect lives and property in Los Angeles. Everybody is working around the clock tonight.
All new iPhone users do these 3 mistakes. Number 1 is deleting photos manually. Number 2,
the winds are as light as they've been ever since the fire started. So the containment numbers should really begin to jump as we go throughout the night. The water drops will continue. And then tomorrow during the day, the morning is calm, but then the winds kick up in the mountains as we go throughout the afternoon. So we could see containment, the numbers may not go up quite as high as we'd like. Still get gusts to 20 to 30. As far as the critical fire weather, once again, we're in the Angeles Mountains and the Santa Monica Mountains, and then also to the south here, heading south to Riverside. So if any new fires form, they could see some rapid spread, but they got so many crews out there, hopefully they can put it out quickly. And here's that next event. High pressure comes into the Four Corner region. The downsloping winds in Southern California begin Monday night into Tuesday. And right now, our computers are thinking that the highest wind gusts are going to be in the 40 to 60 mile per hour range. Notice it's not in LA. It's not in a lot of the areas that had the high winds in the super rare event 2 days ago. This is more going to be a typical Santa Ana wind event, Tom. The mountainous areas and the communities there will be most at risk.
Okay, Bill Cairns. Bill, thank you. Our coverage of the Los Angeles wildfire continues, but we're also following several other breaking stories tonight. President-elect Trump sentenced in his New York hush money case just days before he will be sworn into office. The audio recording from inside that courtroom. Stay with us.
Closer to the Gaza border. A story of resilience and hope. Please take care of yourself and each other.
News for the generation of now is NBC News Now.
The NBC News mobile app. Get connected to your favorite news shows. For the top stories, breaking news, and live video, download the NBC News mobile app now.
Lester Holt, America's most trusted TV news anchor.
More Americans turn to NBC News than any other news organization.